One Night in Miami, out on Amazon Prime, directorial debut of Regina King in terms of feature films. And what a first swing it is, starring Kingsley Ben-Adir, Eli Goree, Aldous Hodge, and Leslie Odom Jr., who earned several awards for his performance. The film is based on a stage play, which in turn is a fictionalized account of a real night that happened in February 1964 in Miami. Four black icons have met together in a hotel room to celebrate and discuss their actions, agendas, careers, and futures in a direct and philosophical sense. The four players were Malcolm X, an influential social movement leader and a key person in the Nation of Islam, Cassius Clay, who would soon change his name to Muhammad Ali, a boxing prodigy who at that point is considering transitioning to Islam and announcing it publicly, Sam Cooke, a popular singer, songwriter, and music producer, and finally Jim Brown, an NFL star starting a career in Hollywood movies. The four of them discuss various topics on various levels, from just their friendship and private affairs to things that could reasonably impact the entire country. And the main subject that the movie orbits around is sort of forced by the presence of Malcolm X, and it's the movement to emancipate and empower black people, individuals, and whole communities. What follows is a deep discussion on different ways that this can be achieved, on which actions are beneficial, on which are detrimental, on which people are hypocrites in what they do, and which ones only look like hypocrites because we don't fully know their story. And finally, are some people, again Malcolm, perhaps going too far in their inflammatory rhetoric? Now, because this is a film that is essentially a very long conversation that takes place in a single hotel room and for one scene on the roof, it could very easily have been boring. And there was another trap as well. Due to the nature of the discussed themes, I feel that it would have been easy for the movie to sound preachy and full of itself. Fortunately, the film avoids both of those traps thanks to the execution, and that goes for pretty much all levels. I think the script is very well written and ensures that the characters vary enough to have an interesting dynamic, while at the same time very clearly remaining friends to one another. And they're also smart enough to point out the inconsistencies in each other's logic, the flaws in the rhetoric. There's a lot of introspection and self examination in the film, which I think helps it immensely. But the script is one thing, you have to bring it to life. And Regina King did a terrific job in the director chair. The dialogue is shot in a dynamic and snappy way. The slower scenes in between do a good job of letting us as the audience and the story breathe. And she also ensured that the movie, despite being a single room play, is still deeply set in a wider world, be it through the mentions of various events or background characters, or the tiny subplot with Cooke and Clay going out to get alcohol. And finally, the performances, which are the most surface level impressive part of the film, but deservedly so. I think all four of the main cast are great at embodying their characters. Each of them has a certain physicality to them, which further differentiates them even visually. For example, Malcolm is sort of calm, timid, well spoken, doesn't move around very much unless he gets excited. Clay practically jumps around the room half the time, excited after the fight that he just won, young and full of energy and this lust for life. To me, the standout performance, though, is Leslie Odom Jr. as Sam Cooke. Not only is he completely believable as the musician, thanks to his way of talking and walking and dressing, he also has the voice to back it up, and in the singing sequences, which there are a couple, including a powerful finale. He already got recognition through various awards, and I think it's completely correct. He is amazing in this one. The only potential criticism of the film that comes to mind has with its very nature, and it's that sadly I don't think everybody will enjoy it. It has a very singular focus of the issues of race in America, and it is executed mostly through dialogue. So I can see those two things turning some people off, people just not being interested in a story like this, which would be a shame, honestly, because it really is a solid watch. I enjoyed it thoroughly.